Welcome to the Pharsyde channel. This is our series on business owner challenges. Today we have the lovely Linda Dent. Linda is a business coach and she specializes in helping small business owners find their way and build successful businesses that they can be proud of. So I'm quite excited to chat to her today and find out more about what she does. Welcome, Linda. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Tamron. It's lovely to be here.
Tell me more about how you help business owners build their business and find their purpose.
Thank you. Well, as you know, I'm an independent business coach. I created my own business called Just Ask Linda Business Coaching. And how I help clients, small business owners in particular, is to help them to grow their business with glee. And some people know what glee is, and you can see on my screen as well, I've got Grow with Glee method. Glee is an acronym that stands for Grow, Learn, Empower, and Enjoy. And it's something that really resonates with both myself and people that I speak to, is how do you grow your business? So a typical business owner like yourself, even like me, we started out and we maybe had a bit of a business plan and we said we're going to target a particular type of client, we're going to charge a certain price for something. We're good at what we do, or we're good at what we make, or we're good at the service that we deliver. And we're confident in that, right? And we start a business and time goes on, and we find there's not a lot of money in the bank account, and there's not tons of people coming, knocking down your door, and you networking like crazy, and you're finding it quite tricky. And so where a business coach helps is on a number of fronts, right? On the one is to say, look at your business from outside and critically analyze it, critically analyze the financials and the cash flow, but also the marketing you're doing, also what is your team doing, how are you spending your time? And so from all the different angles, and I talk about growing your business with glee, but you can also see I've got these business puzzle pieces, because I see that I love jigsaw puzzles, by the way, but it's like you're building a jigsaw puzzle, but when you started out in business, you've maybe got the framework, maybe, but there's some really complex pieces in the middle that you struggling with, right? And you do it all by yourself, or do you ask for support? And there's support in many forms, right? Somebody who might help you with the marketing, someone who might help you with the accounting, but a coach is an overall partner, someone who can look at the business from all the different aspects and suggest different ways that you might do things to improve the results that you're looking for. So there's a lot of planning involved. And I talk about all the different elements of success being those, so all the puzzle pieces, it's the financial piece, it's the marketing piece, it's the team piece, it's the you piece, how do you bring it all together? It's the pricing, it's the strategy, it's the risk management, it's the scenario planning. What if this happens? What if that happens? What will you do? And I find that very exciting, right? So I love the variety. I've never been a specialist. I'm like the ultimate generalist. It's really cool to listen to a client's challenges and then say, let's find another way to work through that together. And as a coach, you keep that person accountable as well.
That's amazing. I love the puzzle analogy because I've always loved it, because I've followed your posts for a while, but I just think a puzzle is just the perfect. I also love puzzles, so maybe that's why I think it's the perfect description. But when you're making puzzles, especially those big ones, those like 1,000-piece puzzles, and you get so excited because you've made the ladybird. and you've made a flower over here, but then there's these huge gaps in between, and you still got to fill it all in, and then you get to something like grass, and it's just hundreds of pieces that look the same. And
Same.
I just think that's a fantastic analogy for business building, because it's very much like that. When we hit
Yeah.
these sections where we're like, I know where this goes, but I have no idea how it fits in.
Yeah.
So
So why not ask for help, because that external viewpoint, there are specialists who can help you with very specific aspects of your business, right? And then I feel like a business coach, a life coach, for example, would help you with your mental, emotional state, to improve how you build your relationships, perhaps, or how you manage yourself. But a business coach is very much, in my case, it's very much the practical elements of success of a business, the things that have been actually working for hundreds of years, right? Just have the processes, have the right people, have the right systems, plan properly, measure performance, change, adapt, keep an eye on the future, look at what your competition's doing, all of these factors. But when you're in the thick of it, and particularly if you're a sole proprietor and maybe you're operating by yourself, you can't remember or think about all of these things all the time, because most of the time you're just making sure that your client is happy, right? But you forget to invoice them. They're happy, you've forgotten to invoice them. So it's about having the someone, I guess, who's keeping you on track, saying, did you actually invoice all that lekker new business that you got?
Yeah. Or did you get someone else to? If you just
did you
never
get someone
your
else
invoicing, get someone else to do it. Yeah.
So I think it's that kind of, that's the problem that I'm here to solve. Not everyone recognizes that they have a problem to solve this, and it's typical, isn't it? Whether that's psychologically or rationally, it's not always a recognition that you
Well,
need
also,
help.
I actually love to say that when I started my business, if I look backwards, you don't know what you don't know. Because you don't know it, you don't know you need help. So
That's it. And listening, being able to listen to an open-minded approach to say, surely there are people out there that have done this before, that have had different experiences and can share some insights. It's actually my little tagline, right? Valued insights, focused action. Because that's what my clients have told me, that I didn't know that, until they told me this is what you do.
yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that's great. Then,
I
I'll do
love
that.
that, because that means you learning from your clients just as much as they're learning from you.
100%. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I mean, you're a business owner, so you've built up this. I know you've done this actually coming from the corporate world. So what was your biggest challenge in building your own business and your own brand?
Well, financially, I was able to, set myself up with a few assets. You needed a laptop and a desk and a chair and things like that. And to invest, I had sufficient sort of surplus savings to cover a year, say. And that's something I recommend to everyone. Make sure you've got those surplus savings to cover yourself for a year. So the pressure wasn't a financial pressure too much for me, but definitely fear. Who knew that you could be afraid of making phone calls after years and years in the bank, where making phone calls was not a problem, and suddenly I'm faced with this absolute fear or resistance to pick up the phone and actually phone potential prospects. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was quite a shock, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it at all.
Isn't it amazing how scary it is to represent yourself? So you pick up the phone in the corporate world, you're representing your bank. You're
Yeah, it
representing
was
your
easy.
employer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you represent you, you've got to have that confidence that you're worth selling.
So that was, I would say that was one of the biggest challenges was, do I really know what I'm talking about? Am I really delivering? Can I do what I say I can do? So a lot of doubt,
Mm.
definitely in the beginning, a lot of doubt, some fear over, I guess, just making a fool of yourself somehow, you know. So those were the challenges to overcome, because planning I don't have a problem with, right? That's what I do. So I had a plan. I'd done my research. I had a plan. I had a pricing model. I had, you know, my services. I had a website. I had a brand. I had a logo. I had all of those things
Yeah, you were
sorted.
ready.
Yes. Oh, you thought I was ready, right? So all the things that people tell you you should have and all in place. I had the finances in place. And then it was like I left my previous employment just before Christmas. In the 1 year, I took a 2-week break. Said, you know, I'd definitely just not do anything for Christmas and New Year. And the 2nd or 3rd of January, I opened the new laptop. I was ready to go. You know, but then it was like, what? I need to make phone calls, or I need to send emails, or I need to create posts for LinkedIn or something. It's a completely different world. And yeah, I had those doubts. I definitely had the doubts. It's probably the biggest challenge. And I have seen that with other people too, that they're just not sure that they can deliver what they say they can deliver. They doubt themselves.
And what do you recommend to just push through that and keep going?
Ask for help. I was the kind of person who just would suffer in silence and try and do it all on my own. And one big lesson I've learned being a solopreneur is to ask for help, to reach out, have conversations, to say, how do you do it? You know, I'm having trouble with this. How do you do that? Or can you help me with this? That is the big antidote to the fear, is someone saying you are good at what you do, but let me help you with this thing that you're struggling with. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Do you
it's
agree?
amazing
Did
how
you have the same kind of
oh
issue? You know, accounting, and you knew what you were
yeah,
doing.
yes, well that's the thing is also I have a extra layer of insecurities that I never actually got my accounting degree. I went into bookkeeping practically doing it. I didn't even do it in school. I actually fell into it completely by mistake. I
Right.
filled in for a friend. That's literally what I did. I filled in for a friend and I was like, ooh, this is nice. This
Yeah.
suits me. I can do this. And then of course it grew. And so I learned it by doing. And then I sort of added certificates along the way because I thought it was a good idea, but I never officially went and got my accounting degree. And so when I went on my own, I was suddenly faced with this. I was 25 when I started my own thing. And I did start it as a bookkeeping business. So, I was like, I'm not going to push myself out there as an accountant. I'm a bookkeeper. I'm a good bookkeeper. That's what we're going to do. But as it grew and as the needs of my clients grew, I would go, yeah, I can do this. When I'm looking at it in theory, and I did do it. I was able to do it. But every now and then I would hit, someone would go, so what is your qualification, or how much experience do you have in this? And
Yeah.
I would just be like, um actually, and then it would just shake me completely. It would just
Yeah.
throw me off course, and I'd wonder, do I know what I'm talking about? Do I just think I know what I'm talking about? But yes, I suppose, and I think in a way it was a good thing, because what it would do is it would force me to go read some more and just constantly go learn. And I built a self culture of just never stop learning.
Oh
Read
yes,
books and
continuous. That's in my Glee philosophy, right? The L, learn.
yeah, the learning, yes. And I think,
Always.
so it's actually been good for me. I mean, I've just read articles and I read books and I attend courses, and I just keep trying to make sure that I'm not talking nonsense when I open my mouth. And I suppose that has given me a large amount of confidence, is knowing that I have just keep learning. But I think the biggest thing is to just do it, because every customer you help, every time a client goes, oh, thank you, you solved my problem, you realize I can do this. I can do this, you know.
Yeah. So testimonials and reviews are gold, right? So that when people really think about it and say something, you didn't have to force them to say something nice about you. They just came out with it, and quite a few people have surprised me in the eloquence of language and the the message that they're saying, and that has boosted the confidence quite tremendously.
Yes, yeah, and I find it helps to sort of save those somewhere. So when you're having a bad day,
I do.
Go read them and go, no, it's okay. I have helped people. Even when I've messed up, there's others I helped. So, and I'm human. I'm going to make a mistake every now and then, but it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, it helps.
So that's always good. Yeah.
And you say that that's actually the most common challenge you see in the clients you help as well. It's just a lack of confidence.
Well, I think the most common one for most of them is the financial problem. And that's when I say financial, they don't know how to price properly. A margin, especially like in a trade business, they just throw a margin on top and think that's going to cover it, and then they wonder why there's no money left in the bank account. And there's two big reasons for no money left in the bank account. One, the margin just wasn't big enough to cover all their expenses, or two, they've just got all their personal stuff and business stuff all rolled into one bank account, and they have no clue what they're spending. So I've done that exercise a lot with clients, is just to unpack their bank statement, from an accounting point of view, but from a, just look what you're spending money on every month and say, do I need to spend the money on these things? And the answer often is no, I didn't even realize I was spending money on those things. So that's you find that when they cut back on the expenses, when they start to understand on the revenue side, the timing of it all, then there's a massive improvement almost immediately. So that's actually numbers and banking, and people are scared of numbers. I'm scared of numbers. I love them, but people are scared.
Well, because as an accountant, I love the numbers, but I have noticed that exact thing. And in fact, I actually did a YouTube video. I did the recording for one. I don't think it's up yet, but I did one very recently. My 4 reasons why you should have accounting records. And I'm like, the one that everyone knows is you need to do your taxes. So everyone has
compliance,
accounting done.
Right? Yeah, everyone's like,
they do, because it's legally required. We do it, and I'm like, yes,
I need an accountant just for that, basically.
And I'm like, yes, you do need it. You don't want to be on the wrong side of your tax authority, whatever the case might be. It's important, but it's not the most important. There's 3 other reasons why I recommend, and the second one is so you know where your money is going. Because you've got to make plans around that. You got to know how much you need to survive. How much does your business need to survive? And are you spending it in the right places? Which, leads to reason number 3, which is, can you fix where your money is going? Can you change where your money is going?
Yes.
Because maybe you're spending it in the wrong place, and that's why you're not making more.
Yeah. So I see that as a big problem. A lot of these sole proprietor types are digging into savings or using their credit card. I saw one time, it's just credit card transactions for Africa. And I was, once we helped him unpack it, I was like, what is this? Is this, what is that? And it takes a lot of trust for them, but I'm analytical. So I'm always going like, what is this? What is that? And I'll say to them, I'm not judging you. You can spend as much money as you like on burgers if you want, or shoes. Just want you to realize how much you're spending on burgers or shoes,
Exactly, yes, because it's actually amazing how few people look.
Yeah, if you tell me when we goal setting and you tell me I want to be financially free, put my kids through school, go on holidays. I say, really, do you? Then why do you not have something in your financial plan to save or to use debt? Why is it not there? No, because there's not enough money. I said, so there's not enough money because, let's look at the expenses first. Maybe you're spending money where, and then the revenue, and then we go back to the revenue side and say, okay, how many clients do you need at your average unit price service to satisfy the expenses minimum, and then to satisfy your needs to
your goals and
your goals.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your target, right? So let's say it was 20,000 a month that you need to cover all of those things, but meanwhile you're making 8. Okay, why are you only making 8? Well, I haven't got enough clients. Okay, so there's a strategy that we now need to develop to go and find new clients. What methods are you using now? You say, oh, I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn and Google or something. I say, fine, but like, are you getting any leads? No. Okay, where are you getting leads from? Do you need to go and call on shops? Do you need to make those horrible phone calls? Do you need to do you need to ask your existing clients, would they please refer you to their friend or family member? So it's about exploring the different options to say, because now the 8 is not enough, you need 20. So how are you going to fill that gap?
Yes. Yeah.
And
you're actually,
I love those conversations, because we get there eventually,
and it's exciting. It's exciting.
And it's exciting when I see the results a few months later, and I get excited for them. So I'm a bit of a cheerleader coach as well, right? It's like all those different hats. When I see something going right for them, and they're going, oh, but it's still, and I go, no, it's absolutely marvelous, wonderful. Look, you've got 2 new clients. Celebrate that.
Wonderful. Yes. And people
Really
need that
celebrate.
too. We need encouragement. We need to celebrate the little things.
Yeah. Well, I've got my glee jar, the glee jar. So the glee jar is where I celebrate all the little things or big things that are going right in business and in life, but quite typically it'll be in business. So it'll be something like, I'll write on a piece of paper and say, had a great interview with Tamron from Pharsyde today. And I'll put the date on and I'll put it in here. And then sometime in the future, I'm sitting there going, nothing's happening, I never do anything. I have that downtime. And then I open this, I empty out these papers, I read them and I go, oh, no, don't give yourself that nonsense, Linda. Look at all the good, look at all the activity, look at all the things you've celebrated. And just for those things, and it just lifts the energy, and then you can get back to
awesome. I love it. I love your glee jar idea. I think it's such an amazing
idea.
Everyone
does.
It's a lovely idea. You need to trademark it before someone steals it.
They can have it as well. Yeah, anybody can have a glee jar. It's for them as well.
And of course, you're dealing. I mean, you're dealing with clients. You say they don't even recognize, or they don't know where their money is going, or they can't. They tell you they can't afford to plan for debt reduction or something like that. And the scary thing is you've got a client that's already a step ahead of most people, because they've recognized the need for a coach, and they've made a plan to pay you. So they recognize the need for you, and they've prioritized that payment, and they still can't see how they should be prioritizing a savings or a debt reduction. And I think
it takes a while sometimes. It takes me a long while for some of these.
And there's a lot of small
but eventually they get it. Eventually it's like,
I find there's a lot of small business owners running around going, I can't afford the coach. I can't afford that course, or I can't, I just can't buy that book. But then, as you say, they've bought new shoes or a burger, and I'm going, well, if you just give up 3 burgers, you can buy that book. That will help you, and it's not a case of not enjoying life, because I think you feel like, your business will just absorb your life if you let it. It will take over, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of time and soul to build a business. But you've got to remember that there's a part of that still involves building you. And I think that's hard that was my hardest thing. I let go of me and I focused entirely on this business, and I forgot that I've got to build myself at the same time. And that involves things like asking for help and getting in
Yeah,
coaches and doing,
yeah,
all these things, because
absolutely.
can't do it alone.
I mean, I've even reached, that's the big lesson I've learned as well, is to ask for that help and to reach out. So I've been exploring like different aspects of my personality over the last 4 years as well. Something I never did before. You just didn't even know about it. But because you're networking a lot, you get exposed to people who've got different thoughts and different ideas and different skills, and they've got certification in something. So particularly the people who are kind of involved in life coaching and NLP and inner child work even, or numerology or something. I've just allowed my mind to open up to all of it, and love having the conversations with people who are saying, have you tried, maybe it's a meditation, maybe it's affirmations, maybe it's just some way that you start the day, or maybe it's reflection time or journaling or whatever. And I've just opened my mind up and gone, yeah, okay, let's see what this is all about. And what's happened is every year I sit with the one lady, and I've just made this an annual thing now. So at the end of the year, we kind of sit and say, have we completed what we wanted to do? Have I completed what I wanted to do in the last year? And is there anything that's not complete? Because that prevents you from moving forward, right? And so we do that, and maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something you were planning to do, like you were planning to develop a Grow with Glee course, and you haven't made any progress on it. And then you reflect on, why is that? What's stopping me? What's preventing me from doing it? Is it the technology? Is it the fear? Is it the lack of ideas? What is it that's stopping me? And work through that, and then realize that in some cases it's okay. Whatever the thing is that you haven't done, it's okay. You can accept it. You can let it go.
Yes.
And then I always feel like quite free after that, and I can just finish my year, no problem. And then January, I sit with her quite early in January, and I've always got my plan, but we kind of come up with a theme for the year. And so every year, the first year of my business, it was Just Ask Linda, right? That was the theme for the year, because it's about building this new business, Just Ask Linda. So it's like, how do I market myself, network, promote, etc., etc. And the following year I went, no, hang on a sec, just need to be more, just stop doing so much and just like be present, and enjoy life. And so it was just be Linda the following year, and everything, all my goals link to this overall theme. Like I would just be more present in a conversation, or more take time to reflect and not just rush into something, so I adapted slightly my ways of doing things. And the third year it was just listen, Linda. And this has probably been the biggest learning. My husband will tell you, we've been married 31 years, and he'll say, you never listen. And it's been quite true over the years. Now that I reflect backwards, it's actually a truth. I don't listen. I'm in my head the whole time. I'm that kind of person. I'm thinking, I'm focused. I'm not listening to people, or I'm listening to reply, that whole story, wait to reply. And that was last year. And I learned so much by practicing practicing that skill of listening, and I'll tell you what I did learn is that actually helped my clients. It helped get better results in my coaching sessions, because I was entering into coaching sessions with, here's my agenda, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, right, close out, next meeting, thanks, 60 minutes, gone. And I realized I was I was losing people, right? I was
Mm.
losing their attention because of that way of doing things. And then I learned the technique of sort of checking in with the person first. Don't go straight into the agenda. Like, how are you?
Yeah.
And then see whether I've got your attention, or if you're sick or you're distracted by something. If you're so distracted, I'll say, should we leave it? Should we do this tomorrow?
Mm.
Because you're not going to be fully engaged. And then sometimes we did that. And other times I learned with one of my clients in Germany to play a bit. He just wanted to have like a bit of music to start the meeting, or he wanted to do post-it notes on this whiteboard background. And I had to adapt quickly to this, but I realized it got much better results by still covering the agenda, but in a slightly less structured way.
Mm-hmm. More fun.
Allowing for space to do things a bit differently, and it had much better impact. So that's a big learning for me, the whole listening story. And this year,
it's a great lesson.
Last of all, this year is Just Dance, Linda. So Just Dance. I am actually dancing, like in competitions and dancing with other moms, and I love dancing. But it's also dance meaning be more creative. Like create this thing, create a new logo, and be more creative in the way you communicate and market and choose different colors to wear. I was always the blue person, the banker, and now wear some different colors, and have yellow flowers in my office, and it's amazing. So I mean, it sounds crazy, I'm sure, but it's nothing to do with the business itself, but it's all to do with me and how I cope with the situations and how I'm adapting and changing and growing. Back to my grow with glee. I'm growing by exploring these different aspects of Linda.
That's amazing. I love it.
And that's part of my whole grow with glee method. Is there's the technical stuff and the practical stuff, like scenario planning and forecasting and financial pricing and stuff like that. But there's also this soft skill side of it, like how do you live a life of glee? How do you do that? Well, I can tell you how to do that.
Yeah, I think you just did.
Yeah. and that's what it's like, bringing those things together. That's the creative part, right? I'm not just going, here's my list of services. You get more with Linda than just a list of services.
I think it's wonderful. It's such a wonderful way to approach business in general.
Yeah.
You've very much woven it into your life and who you are. You haven't let it take over you. You've woven yourself into the business, and you've made sure that it meets your personal needs while still being a business and still helping people. And
yeah,
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a lovely.
That's why I've got the 2 E's, right? To empower others. So empower is obviously that word that is used a lot, but in my mind it means help, to support and help other business owners to and share my stories and experience and insights with them, so that they, it's nice that one day they turn around and say, Linda, help me, or Tamron, help me. And then the last E, is that reminder to have fun. And that one, I need that reminder because I've always been a bit of a workaholic, sit at the desk and work fully. Lately, I've pulled back, and I start work after 9 and I finish before 5, and, take some breaks and sit in the sun during the day. I think that's also part of what people need to do more of.
Yeah, remember to enjoy.
Otherwise, you don't cope. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, that's such a wonderful. Anyone watching this, Linda, you might have just changed their life. I can tell you now, because there was so much good advice in that whole thing.
No. Yeah,
really
that's
amazing.
The idea. That's the idea.
So to end off, I'm just going to ask you what piece of advice, although you've just given us so much, what is the one big piece you would say to anyone about to open a business?
About to open a business, right? I know some people don't want to hear this, but I would say plan. Plan it out in as much detail as you possibly can. Do your research. Think about all the elements that create a successful business. If you don't know what they are, ask somebody to help you to figure out what they are, or better still, you can go and just watch my series on LinkedIn, yeah, and you'll see, or on the website. Even if you do it yourself, just get those puzzle pieces, and as far as possible, create the frame. Create the frame before you start. So frame to me is the basics of, you know, what is it that you're selling? What is the price? How are you going to market it? Who is your target market? How much money do you need? Have you got that? You know, it's just a lot of who, what, when, how, when questions. I did, before I started my business, I probably did that about 8-9 months before I started it. I just asked, or I opened a Word document and I just wrote these questions down, and then I tried to answer them. And if I didn't have answers, then I did some research, like who is my competition even, what are they doing? So go and check them out, check their websites out, then figure out what they're doing. Is that what I can do, or can I do it differently? Where is there a gap somewhere? You just got to ask lots of what, when, where, how, who. One of the final questions is who can help me?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That is fantastic advice. And
that's my advice. Yeah.
And, you know, I would say as well, anyone who's already started and they're listening to you and going, oh, I didn't do that. Well, start now.
Start again. Yeah.
Just start now. You know, and I know you're busy when you're running a business, but I bet you can find half an hour a week to sit down and ask yourself some questions.
Thing here. If anything is going to change, you do have to find time to commit to planning, and you do have to find some time to commit to reviewing the plan and tracking where you've gone. And that is embedded in my business. Is every month at the beginning of the month, review last month, what happened, what went well, what could have gone better, where do I need help, and set some new targets based on the overall plan for the next 3 or 4 weeks. What am I going to do in the next 3 or 4 weeks? Maybe launch a new brand. Maybe it's go to 5 networking events. Maybe it's create a pamphlet. Maybe it's do LinkedIn live interviews with a fellow coach or something. So, but write things down and then do them.
Yes.
So plan, do. What was it? You know, plan and act. I used to have this little acronym. I use it from time to time, to P with glee. Not the P you're thinking of, but the little green P, PEA, plan, energize, act.
Nice. Yes. Very nice. It's a good one, and it will stick in people's minds because, as you say, the first P is the wrong one and they're not going to forget that. Linda, thank you so much for joining me today and for chatting about business. And I'm very sure that if anyone is watching, they really have learned so much to start their business journey or to fix their business journey. Where would be the best way that they could contact you if they would like to connect with you and carry on this conversation?
Well, I've got a website, which is www.justasklynda.co.za. I recommend just go have a look there. The best way, I'm most active on LinkedIn. So that's also Just Ask Linda, or Linda Dent. You can put in and you'll find me. You can actually Google Just Ask Linda as well. And I've got a YouTube channel with some old videos on it and a Facebook profile. And otherwise, connect with me via phone, 071-867-5509, or email linda@justasklinda.co.za. And I would love to continue a conversation with anybody who is thinking of starting a business or is in the business and would like to grow with glee. I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Fantastic. I'm going to put all that information below the video as well, so it's easily accessible. And yeah, I encourage everyone to contact you because I know how great it is to chat to you. So
thank you.
They should too.
Really cool. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful day.